after 1992, the U.S. banned guns based on maker in China, and there's 189 firearms manufacturers in China, even some that were made post 1992 that only do sporting weapons that have been banned just because they're Chinese.
Oh yeah, no, that was the first part of the trade war. Yeah, but it was focused on guns at first, obviously.
Well, that's the bad stuff. Everyone hates guns.
Yeah,
you have to.
But
they kill
that's
people. You know that,
right? That's like Canada's always like, oh yeah, we can buy a fucking M1A clone for 400, 500 Canadian US dollars.
Yep.
And I'm like, well, go buy an FAL fucking semi-automatic clone or a G3 or an AR and an AK, fucking whatever. Like, try that. Oh well, that's a couple guns that I don't. I was like, well, those are the most effective guns.
though.
58.
Yeah. You get those for pretty cheap because crap tons of them are. Well, not anymore.
Not anymore because there's a fucking firearms ban.
Well, they got 2 years to enjoy them still.
Right, but like the Canadians that were talking about, oh yeah, we get these list of 5 firearms cheaper than anyone else. Cool.
Yep.
Cool.
Well, you could still get an AR, and it wasn't all of that hard to do. Like, you could buy an AR and an AK and stuff in Canada.
Oh, I know. You could actually get an SBR AR, which is cool.
And it wasn't all that hard to do. It's just certain places it's a no, and those places you can't are where all the people are.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if you live out in the Hodunks, like in Manitoba, you could apply for one of those and get one relatively easily and go pick up an AK or an AR. But the thing is, a lot of times you're going to be driving 8 hours to get it, or you're going to be driving 8 hours to get ammo for it.
Yeah, that's the shitty part. And that's like Canada's like, they always are like, oh, we're going to equate ourselves to you guys because we can own guns. It's like, you're not the fucking same.
No.
You can't legally buy a suppressor. You can't legally buy a fucking machine gun. You can't fucking legally buy a bunch of semi-automatic variants. So no, it's not the fucking same.
Yeah.
But it's not.
I don't remember directly, but is Canada one of those countries where they ban suppressors because people think they can use them for murder, or are they seen as more of a tool to help aid
I don't know.
Not losing? Because I know most of Europe, except for the UK and like New Zealand and most Asian countries, you can just buy a suppressor over the counter because it's looked at as something that's like useful to firearms community, because they don't actually make guns entirely quiet. They're still quite loud with suppressors. Most of them are.
Oh god, yeah. Yep.
But like they think of it as a thing to help like prevent hearing loss, and because like a lot of these other places, like in Europe where a lot of ranges are indoors and stuff like that,
right,
having a suppressor's a useful thing to have because it can help prevent hearing loss and all the other good stuff,
Yeah, no, it can do that, and I think
the U.S. it's a weapon of murder, and
well, no, that's how it was. That's how it was passed, but like I don't know exactly how the wording's written in the original NFA, but like it was an afterthought. It was like literally in the 11th hour when they were doing the NFA. They did, they just threw it in there because something happened. I think I don't know. I don't know the details, so I'm not going to comment on it. But like,
but it just doesn't.
What I understand is like, it was dumb.
Because like there's suppressors out there that are that good if you're using the right ammo, and they can be heard from not that far, really really close before you can hear them. But most suppressors really basically just bring it down to the decibel level where you don't damage your ears.
Right, exactly.
But like for some reason the United States and the UK extremely heavily regulate suppressors, and I just
the UK they regulate fucking butter knives that are over a certain length, right? Jesus Christ,
that's fair.
Like, I mean, the UK is terrible.
Yeah, well, you can't even have a pointed knife now in London.
Oh, you can't? It has to be dull. Like that would fucking matter.
They had like tons of restaurants and stuff. Like if you were like a professional chef restaurant, you could like apply for a permit that you have to pay for in order to have your knives be pointed, or otherwise you had to take them into like the special place and have the points ground off, because after they banned guns.
Are you fucking serious?
Yeah, because after they banned guns, knife crime exploded. So they said, well, then
is this okay? But honestly, is this anecdotal? Do you have like factual shit to back?
No, that's the thing. Like they had these like bins where you could go Like if you had a knife you didn't want anymore, you
like
could
an
go
amnesty bin.
Yeah, where you could go
Jesus.
dump it, and like they had that for firearms too. They still have them all over the UK, where you can go dump your firearms to be disposed of. It's like a big lockbox that they just put up, and like they have one specifically for knives, and then they have other places like it's just London. Outside of London, you can own a pointed knife, but in London, you can't have a pointed knife unless you're like a business because you could stab somebody with it.
Yeah, it's a good thing that their murder rate's 0 now, because they prevented it with their legislation. Woo!
Yeah, it's still really high. Yay. So now people are just hitting each other with bats and cars and stuff.
Yeah, it's a little bit more humane, right?
Yeah, than just stabbing somebody. But they'll always find a way, is the thing. So if only everyone had guns to defend themselves, right?
No.
I know, but yeah, next time they'll be sharpening sticks, yeah, to stab each other with, and then we'll just throw them and they'll rot away.
I just don't understand that. Like, well, you can see this year, like every fucking super left-wing, progressive, liberal, leftist, whatever you want to call it. Ew, I'm drinking sparkling water and
yeah, it'll get to you.
Oh yeah, I just had a verp. Just had a verp.
Ooh.
Yeah, we're good though. It tasted really good. It was that Hungarian beef and onion stew. It was delicious.
Oh, you still got that? Yeah, I gotta make that. I gotta make that.
And I don't understand. Like this year, we could see how they failed everybody in the world, not just the U.S.
Yeah.
And people still, oh well, it's for the better of society. I'll give up my guns. I'll give up my knives. I'll give up my autonomy. I'll let you. Come on.
Oh well. I mean, I don't really own any guns that are worth taking, and I'm not really interested in any guns that are really worth taking. But I mean, unless they're gonna take all my bolt actions away.
Dude, Britain, you can't own a fucking number 4 Mark 1. The pride and joy of the fucking British Empire.
Yeah,
you can't own one. Oh, you can, but you have to go through
special firearms
months of shit. You have to, and I mean,
but that's a lot of countries. To be fair, you have to wait that long to get.
It's not fair, though.
I know it's not fair, but
no.
The U.S. is like the odd man out, though, in all of these regards.
Yeah, correct. Our gun crime is above all the rest of them, but our actual violent crime and homicide rate is about the same, if not lower, than a lot of countries that ban guns and regulate guns.
But also, like, if you look at the fact that, like, what is it, 1/5 of the world's total guns are in the United States, and comparable to our, compared to our gun crime for how many firearms there are in the country, it's like the smallest percentage in the world. So
yeah, nobody ever talks about the fucking. Well, I mean, Steven Crowder did a bunch of, or not a bunch, but like a few other people did. But the defensive use of firearms to prevent crimes, to prevent death, to prevent mayhem,
and when it happens, it gets buried so much.
Oh yeah, shit. Well, the CDC takes stats, because
but the CDC is also an incredibly liberal organization,
right? But even their numbers are high as fuck.
Yeah,
like up to 500,000 per year.
Yeah, that are prevented by legal firearms.
Crimes, violent crimes.
Crap ton. Yeah.
And that doesn't mean you shoot somebody. It just means you either go like this, you get to this point,
you diffuse a situation by having a gun.
Yeah, and it's like everybody thinks, well, that many people got shot. No. You pull out a gun, somebody's got a fucking knife pointed at your fucking face, and
it's pretty much over.
And they back off.
Yeah,
that's a fucking lawful use of a firearm to prevent a crime. Nobody got hurt. Bam.
But like 1/5 of all the guns on the planet are in the United States.
Good.
And yes, we have a huge gun crime rate, but like if you factor in how many guns are here based on how much gun crime we have, it's still like one of the smallest in the world. Even from countries that ban firearms.
It's 99.999 repeating percent of gun owners in the U.S. didn't hurt anybody yesterday.
Ever or never do. Yeah.
Never. And they're not. Yeah. And it's like, that's insane. So yeah, to blame a tool, I don't buy it. People have been killing each other forever. I think it's all the fear mongering, though, really, than the guns itself or like anything. I think it's like this big platforms like Facebook and YouTube and everybody demonizing them and stuff that make all the generations that might be interested in them afraid of them. Well, it's a matter of if they
get it work itself in.
Yeah, no, and I know what you're saying, but it's like I think there's a possibility that a lot of younger people are actually being able to see through this bullshit.
Oh hell yeah! Like after this whole thing, Like,
Yeah, especially
more
this
guns
year.
were sold in April and May than any other month in U.S. history ever.
And that's the thing is, like, I'm glad. I want people to own guns. I also want them to learn how to use them safely.
Yeah.
Caveat to that. I like gun ownership increasing. I really do, but
there's a lot of dumb people out there too.
I don't care if you're dumb. I just want you to know how to safely handle it and know the laws about defending yourself, all that shit.
Yep.
Basically, they're not that hard to understand. Like,
no, I did a whole video on it too, way back in April. Like, I'm excited for all the new gun owners, but I'm like, there's a few things you guys should know. You should check into your local laws and make sure you know what you need to do.
And they're not that hard to understand, even for a really dumb person. They're written so, like, somebody that's not really intelligent can understand it.
They're very blatant. Yeah.
But anyway, we got to address what you heard, the rumor. You got to make sure it's a rumor.
Yeah.
About the Chinese imports.
About how supposedly at the end of this year, we're going to be able to start getting firearms and ammo from China in limited quantities, such as sporting arms and sporting ammo, for the first time since 1992.
Yep.
So if all this Corona stuff goes through, okay. So.
Which is ironically from China.
Yeah, pretty much. So.
Kind of funny, but anyway, no, that would be cool because
apparently China in other circles all around the world actually has relatively fine quality ammo for sale for really cheap. Yeah. And they make a lot of decent stuff actually. And people have this context here that if it's made in China, it's cheap and garbage. But like
some of their stuff is.
Some of their stuff's pretty good. Like all the surplus army stuff is incredibly
Like I was really surprised when I sold some of it and I was looking at it. I'm like, this shit's made well. Like it's really made well.
It's just the stuff the U.S. buys that's garbage.
Right, because I think they can pull one over on us and just do quantity over quality.
Yeah.
That's what they always wanted. They always wanted quantity because they want to keep their people employed. They want
quantity has a quality all its own.
Yeah, exactly. But no, that'd be cool. Like, I'd be willing to shoot Chinese ammo. Hell yeah.
I'd be willing to shoot Chinese ammo too, especially if it's comparable quality and a few bucks cheaper a box.
Right. And here's the thing to think about. So say the U.S. stops relying on China for the cheap plastic and laminate fucking press board fucking furniture and all the cheap shit from China.
I thought that was Sweden.
Where do you think they get it made?
Serbia.
Serbia makes better shit than that. Come on.
Don't be a cunt. Sometimes.
Don't be a cunt.
I hear that their wine's pretty good.
Whose?
Serbia's.
Most of Europe's wine is pretty fucking good. Whatever. Anyway, don't be a snob. So here's the thing. So imagine that all that cheap shit stops being produced,
and they make
they make ammo for the world.
Yeah.
So we can have good, affordable, cheap ammo, and people start adopting more guns, gun rights, and they get more guns, and everybody's proficient with them.
Yeah.
Well, it'll start a fucking world war. No, that'll prevent a world war.
That's right. That will prevent a world war.
Everybody's armed. It's like, do I really want to deal with that?
That's why Hitler didn't invade Switzerland. Literally, that exact logic you did there. Every male above the age of 18 was a trained soldier with a gun.
But there was also...
There's a lot of other stuff, though, too. And there was...
aspect. He didn't know where to put his gold.
And Switzerland did definitely have that very strong friends with benefits type of thing going on, too. They made themselves...
Some of our people are Germanic in descent. I suppose we can deal with you. Oh, you French? Right. You wish to store gold so the Germans don't get it? Okay. Oh, you Italians.
Yeah, they just had everybody's wealth.
We're all friends here.
Yeah.
In Switzerland.
That's
we speak 5 languages.
Yep.
Romansh.
That's right. They have 5 languages.
Français. Deutsch. Yeah.
So
there's a lot of... Switzerland was dirty as fuck in World War II.
Yeah, they were. I
don't blame them for doing it.
Well, they survived, so in the end, it worked. So,
but they were dirty as fuck. Like, I mean, there's no.
They definitely did some shady stuff.
That's the thing is, like, you're dealing with everybody. You're a quadruple fucking times 10 agent.
Yeah. And all the spying and stuff that went on, and exchanges of information and everything that happened in Switzerland,
passing through to certain strategic points in different countries,
just everything possible.
By everyone, it's like the oh god.
But they still had plans to invade them and didn't go through with it. So they drew the whole plans up and were ready to go, and they're
Tannenbaum,
and they're like, we can't do it. So.
Yeah, that was very interesting. But yeah, Switzerland, everybody's like, oh, they've always been neutral. They're really good. Like, I'm like, well,
no, they're
smart.
sleepy.
They're smart.
They're smart. Yeah.
They're smart.
Yeah, I wouldn't say good. I would. Yeah, smart
good.
is a very good connotation.
Yep.
Yeah. So.
Oh fuck. But yeah, they definitely made a lot of money because here's the thing: is like they still store a lot of the Nazi fucking gold, like the actual party's gold.
They still have a ton of other crap from World War II that they're holding on to that nobody ever collected on.
Right, because if you do collect it, guess what? They're going to charge you as a war criminal.
Yeah, pretty much.
You officially forfeit that shit.
Yeah, and then Switzerland's going to have one hell of a museum.
Well, I wonder if they, at the time of them actually collecting the gold from whomever, that they actually signed something that said after X amount of years, if it's not claimed, it's ours. I wonder if they did that.
I don't know with something in that high of a quantity, you know.
But
everything's working in like hundreds of millions of dollars in that.
Yeah, but here's the thing: at that point, they're taking a big risk because they're storing Nazi fucking gold.
Yeah, but here's the thing: they're also storing French gold and Italian gold and British gold and all this other crap too. So if you have everybody by the balls, you can, you can't play favorites with one or the other.
Yeah, wouldn't it be in your best interest though to do it for all sides? Be like, hey, if you don't come claim this shit in fucking 100 years,
yeah, it's
okay, it's ours. Like rightfully, we can melt it down. We can do whatever the fuck we want with it, and therefore you melt it down and get all the fucking Reichsadlers off of the fucking gold. You win.
Back in the day, that was such a huge. That was like almost, it's like an entire government's worth of money. Like, I don't know. I could understand if it was a smaller amount. You know what I mean? But like, it's an entire government's worth of money. Like, we're talking government-sized amounts of money.
Yeah, I know that, but then they have the advantage. The Swiss have the upper hand. Like,
it almost looks like you're playing sides of the war. Then if they do that.
I'm saying do it with everyone, not just Germany.
Yeah,
but I'm saying also, like, if the government is putting all of their resources, all their liquid resources, you have the upper hand because you could say, nah, you got to figure out somewhere else to put it. Where the fuck are they going to put it?
What if somebody? I feel like it was probably something like somebody was already grandfathered in, like before it all kicked off. They started trading stuff, and then they had to be equal to everyone because of that. Because what happens if somebody finds out that they're playing favorites? Then Switzerland looks like they're at fault.
But they're not playing favorites though.
But Germany was already trading gold and stuff with them in the the mid 30s before.
So was everyone else.
Yes, but Germany was doing it a crap ton more than everybody in the mid 30s.
So who the fuck knew it at the time? Like, Switzerland's not going to say anything about that.
They're keeping tabs on each other. They can see what's moving places, and then it becomes, okay, well, you weren't giving this deal to Germany. You weren't making them sign a thing saying it's yours in 100 years. And then they have to be like, well, fuck.
Again, that's why I said they should have. I wonder if they did it for everybody, or they should have done it for everybody that invested money.
Yeah, they should have. But what I'm saying is, like, if it's just Germany doing it at first, in that large of quantities, they don't have any reason because there's only one country doing it. And then other countries come in and want to do it, but they're already doing it.
Oh, for fuck's sake, Devin, you're telling me they didn't know a war was coming? For fuck's sake.
I'm not saying they didn't know a war was coming, but I'm saying you don't think they giving them a government's worth of money, and then other countries want to come and give them a government's worth of money. You think Switzerland would give them the same deal they're giving Germany, and if Germany was the only one doing it for a long time, why did they have to, and so they never thought of doing it to everybody. If Germany was the only one doing it, why put that clause on it to fuck everybody if there's only one country giving them that much money? And so then in order to not
be smart.
Yeah, instead of not seeming like they're playing favorites, they then have to just be like, yeah, we'll hold on to it for you.
Well, but like they would have been smart.
They would have, yeah, had they known that.
No, not even knowing that. Yeah. Like, getting into a greasy banking system like that in the first place, right?
Fair.
That's greasy.
They probably knew this crap.
Right. Yeah. We'll hold all your fucking money. It's secured. They would be even more smart to have gone in the fucking 20s.
Yeah.
Or before, when everybody was like, oh, Swiss bank, very secure. They would have been smart to just make that a thing. Like, hey, if it's not claimed within 100 years by the direct party or whatever, it's ours, like rightfully.
Yeah. Well, then why didn't Germany just invade after everyone put all their money in there?
Because Germany had more money in there, and they knew that.
Yeah, but they get all that back too.
And then what?
You take all the French and British and Italian stuff.
If you win.
Yeah, exactly. Well, they could have won. It was never an idea of will they win or not, because they would have. It
should have just held off on Russia for a couple years, but
yeah,
hey.
yeah, yeah. But like even Switzerland knew there was no way they were gonna win. It was just how bad can we make it?
Yeah.
And they played it like those poisonous frogs, where they made themselves so brightly colored and everything. Like this is clearly going to be a death trap that nobody took the bait.
Yeah, because I look at it like Switzerland, they would not have been able to take on Germany. I don't think.
No, they would have lost eventually, but it would have been an extreme.
Oh, it would have been Russia, but smaller.
Yeah, exactly. It would have been just way more than they could have afforded to lose.
Yeah, that's what I think. That's my opinion. Like, maybe they would have kicked the shit out of Germany. Who knows? But like at that point, I'm looking at all like the training videos and all that shit. It's like, well,
yeah.
Well,
not to mention they're the only country in Europe where their entire country is fortress. It's all interlocking fire and mined roads and railroads.
Yeah, but at that point, it wasn't.
Late 30s. Most of the country was, but then they really ramped it up.
But it was outdated shit, and their tanks sucked, and their fucking airplanes sucked.
Yeah, but they still had all the major roadways and everything and bridges mined heavily.
No, and I get that. I don't think they would have been steamrolled. I just think they would have lost. I think it would have taken a while. It would have been a bitch.
They knew that from the beginning. They're like, there's no way we could win, so we're just going to make it as bad as possible.
Yeah, it would have been. They would have lost both sides would have lost a shitload of manpower.
Yeah, that's why they expected Operation Tannenbaum to take 7 million troops.
Yeah.
So they didn't lose that many on the Eastern Front.
Right, and
yeah,
I don't know.
Did the German army at its height have like 11 million soldiers or something like that? And they expected it to take 7. To be able to fully neutralize Switzerland, it was like 7 million troops or like 6 million troops or something like that. That's like supply, logistics, and everything all together, not just like soldiers. That's like all of it, like 6 million or 7 million troops.
Ah, for fuck's sake. Fucking paywall. I actually have to go to Google for this one. All right. I don't have a fucking Jamie. I have to do this myself. Okay, so they mobilized 13.6 million.
Yeah.
In World War II total from 39 to 45.
Yeah, all of it.
Yep. So yeah, expecting 7 million, but they lost a lot. Let's see. Okay, how many?
Wasn't it like 8 million casualties or something like that over the whole war?
I wasn't that high, I don't think. 5.5 million.
Okay. Yeah, so they were expecting 6 or 7 million troops to be able to take over Switzerland.
Yeah. And they expected so much less to take over Russia, so maybe it would have been less for Switzerland, and who knows?
Yeah, true. It never happened for good reason, so. But yeah, it would have been.
Yeah, exactly.
It would have been real bad. But Switzerland figured it out. Just be everybody's friend and then mine your whole country.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is like. Yeah, I mean, we could sit here and go, "Oh, this would have happened. This could have,
all day." Yeah,
but like even the Germans, like the German historians that are like pretty pro German World War II, like, oh, we could have won if we would have been. They were like, yeah, Switzerland, that would have been a bad call. Yeah,
yeah, they would have won so many ways, but like everyone kind of agrees Switzerland would have been a waste.
Yeah, it would have just been for everyone because then they couldn't have financed the fucking war.
Yeah.
Because they would have had a place to stash their acquired money.
Well, gold has no value if nobody wants it. So
exactly. So it's like someone should be able to finance even for half as long.
Yeah.
So
which would have killed them even faster, and
right.
So that would have So it was a twofold thing that kept them alive.
I'm glad it didn't happen because I mean, yeah. But now here's the thing I've been noticing too is like this is equally as shitty. Like these fucking historians, it's fucking like teenagers that read an article and think they know everything. They're like there's anti-Swiss like you or actually no, it's not teenagers. It's just fucking old guys in the UK that I've been noticing in Facebook groups. Well, old people in general are on Facebook. I just kind of look once in a while.
Yeah.
But fucking carbonated water. They're always bitching about there's like this animosity towards the Swiss in World War II now. You didn't do anything to defeat the evil. You just sat there and fucking funded it and supported it. You
shot do that to Sweden though too.
Right, because Sweden was neutral, but they kind of helped both sides in small amounts.
Yeah.
But it's like the government's official stance was to not help anybody. They're neutral.
Yeah.
And then you get these fucking Brits especially. Oh, they financed the fucking war. They didn't support. They shot down Allied planes. It's like, well, all right, penis, you're holding out about half the fucking. Oh shit! Anybody over their airspace, they shot them down.
Yeah. And here's
they held the pilots as fucking
prisoners of war, but they also bought British debt, and you know, they financed both sides of the war. But they don't like to say that because they're trying to make them seem terrible.
Well, it's like, dude, if I'm neutral and I've got any planes flying over my fucking country that aren't mine, I'm going to shoot them down.
True. And like the real thing people should be mad about Sweden for is helping the Viet Cong during the Vietnam War.
Well, no.
Yeah, that's a lot of things people don't know. They didn't give them money, but they gave them a lot of like, well, some arms, but mostly like medical aid.
The Swedish K, the 45 ACP.
Yeah, they got a lot of those. Yeah, but
so did the U.S. though. That's the funny part.
Yeah, but the Viet Cong,
I'm wondering if like
medical
shit
aid
get diverted or some shit like of Swedish Ks. Like I'm wondering if like they tried to drop something, they accidentally dropped it in the U.S. They're like, oh, we were just giving you these. They're conveniently in a caliber that you guys have. Yeah, enjoy.
But yeah,
I'm wondering if that didn't happen. Like
it probably did, but like Sweden definitely kind of they had that faction in both their governments that helped both sides of the war. You know,
we didn't know what the fuck they were doing. That's the thing. Is like
well, they gave tons of medical supplies and stuff.
Oh yeah, that's what I mean. I just
thought
they knew
humanitarian aid went to Vietnam to both sides from Sweden. So, but the Viet Cong just used it to keep soldiers going, whereas the South used it to keep babies alive. So.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying. I mean, so it could, it's all about how you use it. But yeah, they were very against the United States in the Vietnam War. Very outspoken about the intervention.
Yeah, I get that. And they were part of NATO at that point, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because everybody in like the late 50s. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the thing. Is like everybody got pissed off at a lot of the European countries, but they're like, dude, we just got done fucking being directly involved in a world war, and now you're doing this shit.
Yeah, but they thought that it was basically the U.S. being a bully, just beating up on other nations because they had all this might and everything after World War II and in the 50s and stuff, and this huge economic boom. And in a way, they kind of were, but I don't know if it, in U.S. logic, there was good reasons for doing it, but
right.
But to everyone else, it looked like they were just beating up on a tiny Asian kid, which they also kind of were.
Yeah, well, that tiny Asian kid fucking grabbed.
Yeah, that Asian kid got the last laugh, but
while they were getting punched in the fucking face repeatedly, they had the testicles and they ended up tearing them off in the end.
Yeah, pretty much. So
I got to take a piss and then grab something. You want to just talk about kind of like what you think is going to be imported from China? Make sure you say
talk about some of that stuff.
So yeah, I'll be back.
So everything that I've read about that's going to be coming in from China, it sounds like it's going to be a lot of sporting arms and a lot of more common weapon calibers. You'll see a lot of 9mm, 5.56, and other stuff. It doesn't look like there's going to be any military arms or any surplus arms or anything so far. It's going to be a lot of kind of cheaper to mid-range shotguns and hunting rifles, and a lot of cheaper to mid-range shotgun shells and, common hunting rifle caliber type ammo. That's going to be coming in. So, because the U.S. is like, I was talking with Mike, for some reason, a lot of stuff in the from China is banned based on manufacturer or exporter from China. So, My favorite World War I rifle? It's probably a tie between the Ross, even though it's not that great of a rifle, and the Greek 1903. Yeah, they'll probably have 30-06 coming from China and other stuff like that. But like, I don't expect any military arms. You'll probably see a lot of like commercial, competitive, like hunting rifles with like synthetic stocks and stuff like that coming from China. It sounds like so. Because the U.S. has kind of somehow under Trump lightened some stuff with China economically, and other stuff has heavily increased. So there's a lot of SKSs out there. I don't know if we'll see military calibers like 7.62, 39, 25, and 54. It sounds like it's going to be a lot of like 9 mils and 308, and 5.56, 223, that type of stuff is going to be coming from China. So I'd be kind of interested if the Chinese start importing stuff in that weird like 5.8 Chinese caliber. I feel like that'd be some interesting stuff. I was letting them know what it sounds like, the light little bits that I've heard so far, like hunting shotguns and hunting rifles and just very common hunting caliber ammo coming in. And
right,
like,
yeah. Hopefully it like starts snowballing and gets
exactly, that was my hope. And I'm like,
yep.
In the end, I hope we get to that weird stuff. Like we can get that weird Chinese military like 5.8 millimeter ammo that they use for everything.
Yeah.
Their pistol, their submachine gun, their assault rifle, their DMR, and their sniper rifle are all in 5.8 millimeter.
Yeah, it's like it's a weird ass caliber, and I don't understand it, but
yeah, but I feel like it'd be interesting to see all that stuff.
So yeah, get a bunch of those semi-auto, whatever the fuck they use now, the bullpups. That'd be sweet.
The QBZ 95s or whatever, or no, they replaced
whatever.
those. They're like the Type 05s now or something like that. They have.
Yeah, something like that. I'm not really up on that shit, but I've seen pictures.
Yeah,
it's kind of cool.
It is really cool.
Get us a bunch of semi-auto versions of that shit. Like fucking import those. I'd pay $500 for one.
Yeah, and
fucking A.
That'd be sweet. And then yeah, I'd be interested to see how that, because the Chinese put a lot of thought into all their military calibers. They actually only make only two weights of bullet for everything. There's the pistol submachine gun weight, and then there's everything else weight, and then it's just different case lengths.
Oh, so they use the 5.8 for everything.
Yeah, literally everything. They're like long range sniper rifle, their light machine gun, their everything uses that 5.8 millimeter.
Oh, actually, yeah, I didn't know that. Cool.
Yeah, so they did what every military should have done. They just streamlined everything down to as simple as it could possibly be, with only the core ammo, the core rounds that they needed to make.
That's really smart because
that's why they're going to steamroll us if it ever comes out to a full-on land war.
I don't think so.
No, probably not. But
yeah, eventually they'll run out of their fucking shit.
Yeah, well,
it's like
China is the largest manufacturer in the world, so.
Well, yeah, but like, so think about it. I alone have probably.
I'm talking just the military on military, not the U.S. population getting.
Oh, you're saying the military on military?
Yeah, I feel like China.
Military on military.
There is advanced.
I think
we are now. They're as advanced as we are technologically.
And nutritionally.
Yeah.
Morale.
Yeah.
That's a big thing. Like people don't realize it. Like, sure, you have the numbers, but if you're not nutritionally able and you're not physically fit enough with that, is combined with nutrition, you're not going to do that much. You can wear the uniform.
They were forced to update their jets and tanks to they just designed new models because soldiers were getting so big because they were so able to get the nutrition they needed now that they just would not fit in those things anymore.
You mean the copied fucking technology? That's all China does is fucking copy shit?
Yeah.
And they make a cheaper version of it?
Yeah, but they have jets that are on par with ours, and tanks that are on par with ours, and night vision, and assault rifles and body armor and everything that's on par with ours. So
yeah, but again, you think their nutrition's good? It's not. Compared to the U.S., it's not.
no, it's not, because they don't have the space, but they can do it.
See, here's the thing: is they do outnumber us, what, 4-1, something like that.
The U.S. is like what, 300,000 or what? No, 300 million population about.
No, the military.
I have no idea on the military numbers.
So the U.S. here, you look up the Chinese military currently, right? I'll look up the U.S. Ah, for fuck's sake. Okay, how many fucking people?
All right, what do you have for active personnel? Because according to this, in 2019, it's ranked number 1. China is for active personnel.
Well, duh. All right, so. Well, but that's active. How many? I mean, active like active duty or active like in the military?
Active duty personnel. They're number 1 in the world. And then it gives me a reserve personnel number 2. So
we have 1.3 million active duty troops, 865,000 in reserve. So we've got about 2.5 million roughly.
Yeah, China has about 2.6 million combined. So
not that big of a fucking difference.
No.
And I think we could take them.
But China also has conscription compulsory by law that they can enact whenever.
Cool. So do we. We have this thing called the draft.
Yeah, but how many can the U.S. field?
A lot.
China can field 20 million more than the entire U.S. population.
Again, they're going to push them through in 4 weeks.
But it's still 20 million more people than the U.S. has.
Okay.
Like, entirely.
Well, then at that point, if they try to do that shit, guess what? Beep, boop, ba-da, boop, boop, boop.
Yeah, then the world ends.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, they're comparable right now in size. It's about 2.5. So.
Yeah, but I mean, I think honestly, in a conventional war, we could take China. Especially, here's the thing, especially if it was like a Red Dawn thing where they tried to invade us.
Yeah.
Oh,
well,
God.
If the U.S. has to play defensive, for sure. But do you think the U.S. could take China in the same way? Like if the U.S. invaded China?
No, that's why we wouldn't, because it's fucking stupid. Why the fuck? Nobody even. Oh God. Well, I shouldn't say nobody, but like any sane.
Japan almost did it, but.
But that was before they even had the revolution and they had all these people.
True. Well, it depends on what revolution.
The one in the fucking 30s and 40s, dude.
Yeah, but the one in the 50s is the one that mattered.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, it's
You're just proving my point more because that's when the population started increasing in the 50s. So when Japan invaded them in 31, their population was shit.
Well, it was still the highest in the world, but
yeah, it's a huge country. It's an old country.
Yeah, they've had the highest population in the world since like
Japan also steamrolled the fuck out of them.
Well, yeah, Japan also had technology on their side, so
right, and at that point, nutrition and
yeah,
morale.
Fair. Okay. Well, it's hard if we're factoring morale. It's very hard to beat Japan in the morale factor.
Nowadays, not so much.
Nowadays, but if we're talking back in the 30s, it's like good luck finding a country that has more morale than Japan does.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing: is China conscription brings low morale.
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
But so you're saying a draft doesn't bring low morale?
Actually, if you look at Vietnam, the last time we had a draft, the stats would indicate that most people drafted or volunteered, which most volunteered just to fucking get it over with. Not because they were patriots, they just didn't want to fucking have to worry about it.
It's either they volunteer or they just get drafted anyways.
But if you volunteer, you get to pick your branch.
Yeah, so, fair.
But anyway, it was proven that most people who were interviewed after the fact, they went to Vietnam, because everybody, got drafted. They didn't go to Vietnam, right?
Yeah.
Few people that were drafted went to Vietnam. Few people that volunteered went to Vietnam.
Yeah.
It was a very small operation, and we had a huge worldwide military.
Fair.
So the ones who did go to Vietnam, between draftees and volunteers, the people who say that I'm glad I served in Vietnam after the fact, it might have been shitty, whatever, but I'm glad I'm glad I served in Vietnam, is like 80%. Between both draftees and volunteers. So it's like, that's interesting.
Yeah. I thought it was a lot lower than that.
So did I. And yeah, it's very interesting that most people
I suppose hindsight's also 2020. Like, if you got over there and you're just like a supply guy, that's probably not so bad, but...
Well, it could be, in Ted is 68.
Yeah.
Supply guy. Your base is getting overrun by fucking...
Yeah, but it beats being drafted and thrown into the infantry and then told you're going to Vietnam.
Well, most guys weren't drafted and thrown in the infantry. That's the thing, is there was a decent amount of people.
But like in a huge global thing with China, you'd think that there would be a lot more people going to front lines, and what their morale would be.
Well, no, I just...
Yeah, it's a whole big what if.
No, I just made a video, which I just released. I'm actually going to check this shit out. I'm just looking at my little video. So I just posted a video about I just know this gun was in combat kind of thing.
Yeah. They're taking people's word for it without any proof.
Well, most soldiers never actually see combat, even if they're combat arms.
Yeah, and then even less fire their weapon in anger, and even less of those people actually kill somebody.
Or even hit someone.
Exactly.
So that was my point, and I'm sure I'll get a lot of stolen valor fucks like, I was a Navy SEAL Delta Force sniper Marine.
Yep. Yep. Or my grandfather in World War II used to scalp people with this bayonet, and I know for a fact that it's used in combat and killed people. And
yeah, that's one of the big things that I've heard, and it's...
Yeah, no, I don't buy it either. Well, good. The gun might have very well doing that, but I'm trying to buy it for the worn out piece of shit that it is. So I'll give you this much for it. So, and then they get all upset. I've definitely had people get upset when I give them a number that's realistic for a firearm, and they just go, "No, I can't do that. It's got much more sentimental value than that." Well, then you probably shouldn't have it out here for sale.
Exactly.
You should definitely take that back and let it keep rusting away and being not maintained.
I got all these people that are fucking suggesting in the comments like, "Oh, do this extremely expensive shit. Like get a 9mm and 45 sub gun and then test it at 100 yards with the helmets. I guarantee you'll get a lot of views." It's like, no, I fucking won't. And I'll spend thousands of dollars on some fucking... Yeah, no.
Also, you really can't monetize that anyways, so you can't make millions of dollars.
Right, exactly. So it's always
It literally only costs money, and it's only for education.
Exactly. And that's the thing, is that's why Patreon's a fucking thing that I have, and everybody's like, "Oh, you're just e-begging." And I'm like, well, I'm not, because I'll still make content whether I have Patreon support or not.
But that content, to do those helmet reviews too, they cost a ton of money to do. Ammo is not cheap. Finding the time to do that is not cheap. Lugging camera equipment and shit out there is not cheap. Sitting down doing the editing, that takes time. All of that costs money. Making sure you stay hydrated while you're out there, that costs money. It's so it all adds up, and people don't want to pay for it. So
yeah, that's the thing, is I just, like I said, I'll make content. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, that's why I started Patreon when I did the
SMLE
project. And I was like, if you guys want to help me buy parts so we could bring this thing back to life, that'd be fantastic. And I get some money to do that. And I've been able to buy 2 screws.
It's going to be a lot slower. And you know, whatever.
Yeah, so. I bought 2 screws. I got an ejector screw, and then I got a sear screw.
I'm very proud of you.
So
did you get a hard anal screw?
I did. It turns out some smelly parts, if you're trying to find them new old stock, are not cheap.
Yeah, they're not.
An ejector screw is like $7.
Yep. Fuck yeah.
So I bought a few of them and talked the guy down in price. So just so I have them then, because I can use them in there. I guess they're the same for the number 4, the SMLE, and the Ishapore. So I could just have spares then. So, but yeah, parts are not cheap for SMLEs apparently.
But yeah, I should definitely spend $3,000 to make a video that'll probably get 800 views.
Yep, and that you will not make a cent on.
Well, I'll make $2 on 800 views. So.
Yeah, fair.
You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah.
But it's like $2 out of 2,000.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, hope you're happy, bud.
Yep.
Thanks for the free content, ass fuck.
Yep.
Oh, you're begging for fucking e-support. Oh, fuck you, e-beggar.
Okay. Yep.
I mean, it's just it's
it
so
happens.
Funny.
I've already had people accuse me of doing that too, but then I clearly have a video. I'm like, hey, here's the part that you guys bought, and I'm gonna put it in now.
Right now, the rifles and some of the fucking ammo. I gotta actually save up for some ammo because
ammo's getting way expensive. I definitely got to do that too. So.
Yep.
I'm out of 303s basically, so.
I may have some 303 laying around with some clips.
I got to get some. I got loads of clips. God, I have more 303 clips than I could possibly ever. I got enough 303 clips to fill all of my World War I sets of equipment and have clips left over. Like a lot of clips left over.
I could one up you right now, but I won't.
You definitely could, but it's to the point where I have 200 Lee Enfield Chargers.
Yep.
So
I actually yep, probably got an 8x8x8 mailbox, right? That you use.
Yeah.
You got one of those full
of just chargers.
Yep.
That's more chargers than I own, probably.
Right, and that's more than I want to own, so that's why I'm selling them to people. So.
Fair. Well, if you get any of the cool all mine are World War II dated ones. If you have the cool World War I dated ones that don't have the circles in the back, I'd like just one of those as an example.
Well, yeah, the World War I ones actually they don't have the big. They don't have the big fucking loop on the end. There's an extra hole instead of that big loop.
Yeah. And
World War II, they tried to save on the metal more.
Yeah, and they had slots cut in the back rather than those alternating circles. And a lot of the World War I ones only had the spring stuff, like the retention, because they cut the ends out of them on both ends of the World War II ones, so that they bent it in a little so it holds the ammo in.
I literally just said that. They have an extra hole, and the spring retention thing is way shorter.
Yeah, on the World War I ones, they only did that on one side for a lot of them.
Yeah.
So I don't have one of those. I've been trying to get one, but I don't want to pay the money for it.
Got them somewhere, and been using them for years. Probably going to retire
one for display, so I want to put just 5 rounds in it and hang it somewhere.
Right.
So I probably will just, if you can't find one, I'll shell out for one. But they're $7 to get one or whatever it is.
Oh shit! Yeah. No, I've got a couple somewhere. Just don't know.
Yeah, because I've got a lot of different manufacturers. Mine are from 12 different manufacturers. But
same.
But I don't have a World War I one yet, and that's the era I.
Well, here's the thing: is when I was younger, I knew that it was World War I, but I didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
So I was using it, and it worked well. They worked great. I had 5 or 6 of them, and I don't know what the fuck happened to them. They'll probably turn up someday.
Yeah, I got stuff I'm I know it's somewhere, so I don't want to buy another one. I just got to take an afternoon and go through all of my shit to find it. Because you're I'm not going to use this for a while, so you tuck it away or throw it in a box somewhere, and then it's it could be anywhere. It's
Fuck it.
And then you're like, I wonder what happened to that. And you just go look at this heap of boxes, and it's like, well, fuck, I'm not going through all that shit
Right.
to find one fucking thing, you know? So definitely been there. Like, I have that whole thing of like Vietnam era, a whole bundle of 20 of those foliage bands somewhere. Somewhere I have them, and apparently those are worth a shit ton of money now. And I just have a whole band somewhere.
$20 a piece, yeah.
Yeah, but I've got 20 of them, so that's, you know, a ton of money. And so, like, I don't need more than like 4 or 5 of them. I could sell the rest of them.
Right,
But
exactly.
yeah, but I'm like, I've got no fucking idea where they are, and I don't want to take the time to dig out the box for them. So, what can you do?
No, I hear you. So, yeah, it'll be cool to watch that China shit.
I know, right? But like, I hope this whole, because I don't know if you heard, California just shut down again today.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, it's all shut down again because they had that second case thing, and it looks like Nevada is gonna follow, and
You
probably
fucking
Oregon and
you
Washington.
allow race riots to fucking happen in your streets, and
And
you
then
know,
everyone gets, yeah,
oh god, we gotta shut down. Let it fucking burn through at this point. You done fucked up already
yeah.
twice,
Just let the people that
thrice
are,
actually,
yeah, yeah,
thrice. You
yeah,
fucked up. Just let it burn through at this
yeah.
point.
Most of the people have pretty much already had it at this point. The ones that haven't, just let them get it and get it over with.
Yep.
Because at this point, I don't think we would be a strain on the medical system if we just let it run its course. So many people have had it now. So
Yeah, I don't know.
they're
It's
worried about it.
I think we're at that point. We're at the tipping point of like, at this point, do we want to sit there and be locked down by government for the next 2 years?
Well, in
Or just
California,
want
yeah, I guess, but
well, California, yeah,
yeah.
unfortunately.
So I get that, but yeah, but like, you know how my governor is. I feel like now that one state did it, he's
Walt?
gonna fucking,
Oh, he
yeah,
fucking asked for fucking, can we get some federal funding for our
yeah,
massive
and they were like, no,
backup?
go fuck yourself. You should have handled that better. And
Yeah,
I was
and
like,
then the thing is like, the feds, I'm glad they fucking did that because,
yeah, I'm glad they did that
oh,
too. Even though my taxes are gonna go through the roof because of
I
it.
know.
But
Well, hey, there's an alternative. But
yeah,
no, it's like, seriously, you let your fucking cities and your state burn to the ground, and now you're asking for a bailout from the same government you were fucking saying was horse shit and
yeah,
and fueled
like
the
2 weeks
fire.
earlier. Yeah.
It's like, are you horse fucking me? Are you serious?
Yeah, so I'm kind of glad that the federal government shot him down
Oh
too.
yeah,
But
fuck yeah,
like,
fuck him
yeah,
too. I hope he
but
doesn't
like,
get
I
reelected.
know that he's probably going to shut the state down again. Now that one state did it, he'll shut it down again. He doesn't care. He was upset that we
Florida,
opened the first time.
yeah, but Florida already shut down, so I'm sure Minnesota will shut down again.
Yeah, so because he's just chomping at the bit to lock everyone back in their houses.
Well, now he's pissed. He's like, "Oh, I'm a failure. I fucked up." Good, you
Yeah,
should have had
they,
that a couple months ago, there,
they
Timmy.
should drag him out of the mansion and bludgeon him to death in the streets. So he's been probably one of the worst governors Minnesota's ever had.
Yeah.
Yeah, as far as dropping the ball so many times, you know.
I know Dayton was pretty fucking bad too.
Dayton was pretty bad, but at least,
Could you imagine? Okay, honestly, like Devin, could you imagine Mark fucking Dayton in this scenario?
yeah. Well, there's a lot of
Oh,
people that said, well, who would you rather have, Dayton or Walls in this whole thing? And a lot of people said Dayton because he would have probably handled stuff better economically because he's a businessman and a trust fund baby.
but he had colon cancer. He was on drugs.
Yeah.
He's a fucking retard.
Yeah. Well,
Like,
yeah, and and he had that stroke or whatever, so he couldn't talk. And
yeah, that's what he sounded like. Yeah.
yeah,
So it's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure Waltz, that's like literally saying, well, this turd's a little bit more polished than the other,
yeah.
but I'm pretty sure Waltz handled it a bit better, and
We'll never know though, but
no, we'll never know. But it's still like, Jesus fucking Christ.
yeah. I'm not
Such-
happy with Walls. All that he did was raise my taxes and then drop the ball so many fucking times that my taxes are going to get raised again. And we're going to be like the 4th highest state for taxes in the union.
Oh, Minnesota's fucked, dude. You should literally Save up every dollar you make. Get the fuck out of there. Move across the border.
I'll move down to Georgia with my parents for a few years till this all blows.
No, dude, just move across here. Move to Wisconsin. We're fine.
But yeah, I'm not going to be able to afford to do that by tax season.
No, so you endure one more tax season. You suck it up.
Yeah, I could probably, yeah. But...
like, we're right here. You might have to drive more, but you'll save fucking money in taxes.
Yeah, I'll save a bunch of money in taxes, yeah.
Holy shit.
But yeah, it was, this is going to be rough. We're going to be like, yeah, probably third worst. We're what, fifth worst in this country now for taxes, and we're going to probably be third worst.
What do you have, 6.5 on retail, and what's your income tax rate?
I'm not sure, but I don't think it's 6.5 on retail anymore. I think it's 7.2 on retail.
Oh, yeah. I mean, God.
Yeah. And then I got to look it up. It's really high, though. The only thing we're not super bad on, actually, is like property taxes. We're not the worst in that. Everything else, though, we're...
Well, the thing is, Wisconsin's a little bit higher on property tax.
Yeah.
It's a bitch. But I'd rather pay that once a
graduated tax with 4 rates: 5.35, 7.05, 7.85, and 9.85, depending on your income bracket.
For income?
Yeah.
Holy fuck, yeah. But what's your retail tax? I'm just wondering.
Uh, 6.875.
That's Wisconsin's 5.5, which is high, I think.
Yeah.
And yeah,
well, considering North Dakota doesn't have retail tax and all, other stuff, so
and they still managed to fucking pave their roads and
all this other stuff. Well, that we have special taxes on just gas to pay for the roads.
And stadiums that nobody
28.5% state gas tax.
Woo!
Yeah. So 28.5 cents per gallon.
Yeah, when I was a kid or when I was a teenager, I used to drive over to Minnesota to get gas because you didn't have that goddamn tax on the gas. Wisconsin's was higher.
Yeah.
And then now they're even.
Yeah, the federal tax on gas is like what, 17.5 cents?
Right, but then Minnesota upped theirs. And then I used to get
28.5 cents per gallon.
Right, and then I used to get tobacco illegally in Minnesota when I was a teenager, and it was more expensive, but there was a certain gas station that I went to that wouldn't card, so I'd go there and be willing to pay a little bit more,
Yeah, fair.
And then I found a gas station in Wisconsin, it was significantly less. So I'd go to Minnesota for gas, come to Wisconsin for tobacco.
Yeah. But then Minnesota's also got the vice taxes, like a pack of
God, but so does Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Tobacco here now is fucking it's equal to Minnesota. And then when I was living in Minneapolis for a couple of years, the last year I was there and I tried to quit. I went over there. I used to chew Grizzly Wintergreen. Okay?
Yeah.
And I went, hey, can I get a can of Grizzly Wintergreen from a gas station that I'd been going to forever? And they go, well, as of this law that they passed, we can't sell flavored tobacco, so we can give you Copenhagen or natural and whatever. I'm like, I mean, I could do it, but like, really? Yeah. No menthol cigarettes, no fucking flavor.
Yeah, because they just and then for a little while here, you couldn't even buy e-cigarette stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
And they taxed the shit out of that. And
how fucked up is that?
Yeah, and then alcohol taxes here are way higher than a lot of other places. And
well, what's funny is a lot of your alcohol in your state is less than some places.
There's caps on it. Nothing over, 75%?
Well, right. And that's the thing is, like, for a while there, also you couldn't sell alcohol on Sundays in Minnesota, and they just
last year repealed that.
A couple years ago, it got voted in, and they repealed it last year, which was insane because it gave Wisconsin a lot of money on Sundays.
Yep.
Oh, you're out of beer at your Super Bowl party? Well, you can hop the border,
grab as go to Wisconsin,
alcohol as you want.
Yep.
Jump back, you pay Wisconsin sales tax. So but anyway,
which saves you money actually, because you guys don't have as high vice taxes as we do on alcohol. So.
Now we do.
You do now?
Oh, dude!
I thought it was like 2% less.
Dude, it might be 2% less, but it's It used to be.
But
about
I mean, if you're buying $400 worth of shit, it doesn't really matter.
Right, but like it used to be like 20% less. You know what I mean? Like,
it was a lot. Yeah.
People would drive here from Minnesota, which I mean isn't that far,
just to buy stuff. Yeah.
Just to buy alcohol and fireworks and tobacco.
Yeah.
And then it's like, bam. Well, now it's
they realized they were missing out because if people were willing to pay it in Minnesota, and there was a ton of people driving here just for that purpose, if they make it just below Minnesota's, people will still come here.
The Sunday thing was just ridiculous, but yeah, in Minnesota, I think it still stands. They can't buy Everclear over there.
You can, but only the 75% one.
No, I'm talking the 95%.
Yeah, you can't get actual Everclear, which is why when I was leaving Wisconsin that one time, the last time I was there, I picked up like 4 bottles on my way out of the state. So.
Yep, this thing is like, real Everclear. That's some serious shit.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
You can run a fucking vehicle off of it. It's amazing.
That's right. You can stretch it for a long ways if you're just trying to get hammered. Yep. So.
$18 for a fucking liter.
Yeah, $18 for a handle of Everclear. Yeah.
$6 a day, bud.
Yep. So.
But yeah, I just don't understand it. But okay, so these guys that just came in, or a lot of them left. Well, whatever. They can fucking look at the Chinese stuff that may be coming. It's a rumor, by the way.
It is a rumor. It's all speculation. So. Sounds like Trump might be working some stuff out economically.
Let me tell you, we're going to get the best Chinese weapons.
Yeah, we're going to get the best Chinese guns.
We're going to get the sporter ones. They're not assault rifles. Let me tell you, a lot of people have told me this, and we're seeing this. We're seeing this. We really are. These assault weapons are not going to be imported. It's not going to be, and let me tell you something, and believe me, these are not going to be on the streets in gangsters' hands. These are going to be in Americans' hands.
Yeah, and besides, gangsters only like high points because they can't afford Glocks.
Excuse me. And what I was saying was...
yeah.
I fucking love that.
I tell people that all the time, like, if you want to end a lot of gang violence, I'm like, get rid of high point. Because, like, statistically, what is it? Like, 50%, I think in California, 50% of handguns they have in inventory from crimes are high points.
That's a meme. Like, literally, it's a bunch of these fucking, what's called Saturday Night Specials. They're little guns that are from these weird, obscure little companies.
Mm-hmm.
That make them. They're 22 to 25, possibly 32 and 9mm caliber.
A lot of the high points are 380 they're finding.
I have a high point CF 380, and it's big. One of those little Saturday Night Specials, you can hide it a lot easier.
Yeah, but it's cheap is the thing. If you're a gangbanger, who cares? As long as it's cheap.
Let's think of these little tiny pistols. They cost less actually than a high point.
Yeah.
They cost like $120 to $150.
But do they have the magazine capacity and everything else?
They don't give a fuck. They want 1 or 2 shots.
But gangbangers aren't smart. They don't know that.
I know.
So
they also know that they know shot placement. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I mean, sort of, kind of. I mean, they are holding their gun sideways, but
most gang violence that I've heard people talk about is a Saturday Night Special, point blank, side of the rib cage, pop, goes through both lungs, possibly the heart, goes through both lungs.
Yeah, pretty much.
You're done.
Yeah.
Even a 22, you're done.
Pretty much. Yeah, it'll go through. I don't know. It just kind of goes through and bounces around. Because it's 22.
It goes right. It bounces around, yeah. It might, God. But it still creates a lot of fucking damage, and by the time...
Yeah, a 22 can kill, so... I see a lot of... Minnesota has a lot of poachers, believe it or not. Probably because people are so poor from paying taxes that they go out and eat. And a lot of, like, the people out hunting use 22 long rifle and, like, shine deer at night, from their truck because it's quiet. And you get a ton of rounds for cheap, and it'll kill if you know what you're doing and you're confident in your rifle.
Right.
So a lot of poachers get a lot of 22s, a lot of like single shot 22s and semi-auto 22s stuff here in Minnesota. The DNR picks up a ton of those from people poaching with them.
Yep. And there's also a certain ethnic group that does it the most. They do it over here too.
Well, they can. That's legal. They can do that.
No, it's not that ethnic group.
Oh. Oh, okay. That makes sense. You're right.
Yeah.
So.
And it sucks, but it's like it's going to be less and less, of course.
Yeah.
But
oh well.
Oh well.
I always thought it'd be fun to go hunting all over, like back in Canada, where like in the territories you can hunt like all year.
Well, I was thinking for my bachelor party someday, somehow, some way, I get a group of like 4 to 5 guys together. We go up and we rent one of those cabins in northern Alaska.
Yeah.
Or central to northern Alaska, where they have to fly you out there and they go, all right, we'll see you in 2 weeks. Here's a sat phone for emergencies.
Yep.
And I'd bring an FAL.
Yep.
Okay. And then we would just have to live off the land. We get a couple tags for whatever, caribou, whatnot.
And that's right, because it's the U.S. Yeah.
Right. I'll bring a bunch of spices. For sure. Fair. And we'll just live off the land for 2 weeks. I think that would be an excellent bachelor party.
That would be a fun party.
Because then you'd actually
fantastic party.
Yeah. Because I mean, everybody up here, except for one person that I might invite, would be used to the cold and like know how to deal with it.
Yeah. Are you gonna bring Alden?
Well, I didn't say his name, did I?
No, but he's the only one you talk about all the time. That's not.
I would invite him. I would invite him. He would be a bitch though. He would be pissing and moaning about the cold.
It would be so entertaining though. So.
But it would get annoying. I know it would get annoying because he fucking. But yes.
Alden, go get firewood. God.
That's definitely one of the guys. Exactly. That's definitely one of the guys that I would want to bring up there. And I think that would be an excellent test of like military surplus firearms.
Yeah. Out in the middle of nowhere.
Right. And again,
they have to be reliable.
But the thing is, I would bring the FAL. I would want somebody to bring a Remington 700 with a fucking accurate fucking zeroed scope.
I don't own that.
Right. And I'd also want somebody to bring a fucking like AR-15 or some shit.
Smaller caliber. That either.
Right. Well, it doesn't matter what you own; it matters what you carry.
A lot.
I'd also want, everybody's gonna have a sidearm, of course.
Yeah.
But it's like I'd also want somebody to have a shotgun.
Shotguns are good.
Yep, because you can load any kind of ammo in there.
Yeah.
And all that shit, and then
you can even put 50 BMG in a 12 gauge.
You'd have a fucking long range bolt action rifle. Okay. You'd have a medium range, like an FAL, semi-automatic rifle. Could be good for defense too.
Yep. Bears.
Smaller caliber AK or AR. I don't care what you carry, but
yep,
you gotta be proficient with it.
Somebody's got to bring a little 22 to just shoot squirrels and rabbits and shit.
Well, right, and that's what I was gonna say is a shotgun, right? So that's 4.
Yeah.
5 would be you have a 22 for small game.
Perfect.
Everybody's got a sidearm.
Kind of hunting is the little 22 small game hunting.
Right, but when you got 5 guys, you got to get a lot of small game.
Yeah, but it's common out there.
Well, yeah, I know. It's just
they're everywhere. You're stepping on them basically.
Tedious though. Just skin them and fucking,
Oh man, skinning a rabbit's easy. It's like pulling a sock off.
I get that, but it's still tedious. There's not a lot of meat, especially the rabbits way up there. They're not.
Yeah, they're not as. Yeah,
they're not
depending on what time of the year you're getting them at. Anyways, they get huge towards the fall, but
I think that would be a fucking awesome bachelor party.
That would be.
You come back, and you're all
huge, pissy. Like Grizzly Adams beard, and
mine would just be a little bit longer than this, but
mine would be like,
yeah. And then we come back, we're all pissed at each other, like, we'll fucking see you in a couple days at the fucking wedding. Don't fucking talk to me until then. Just don't fucking talk to me until then. And then show up to the fucking wedding or the reception or whatever the fuck.
Oh, we're not just gonna like land and go to the wedding from the soaked in our own sweat and bodily fluids, looking like lumberjacks from the middle of the woods, all emaciated and
smelling like fucking filthy. Dead goats.
Yeah.
Just reeking like fucking what the fuck died and you rolled in it like a dog.
Yep. Haven't brushed my teeth in like a week. Yeah.
No, I just think that would be a really fucking fun.
It would be fun. Just to go hang out for 2 weeks up in the woods in the middle of nowhere.
I would actually, if we do that, I switched from the FAL. I would probably get the fucking iron sights on the G3 zeroed
then
have the scope on there, so I can
scope,
intermediate and medium range. So
yeah,
that's
pretty good.
And if I dropped the mag out there and lost it, I wouldn't fucking care.
Yeah, it's fair. You just bought like a whole box of them, didn't you?
And I sold out of them. Yeah, people
like really? Them. Yeah, those new old stock mags you had that you bought.
Well, they're in good condition. They got rust on the steel parts, but it's not like
that's whatever. It's just because they've been sitting for forever.
Right. But I'm FAL. You better fucking up your game, or I could bring the FAL that I have that has a rail on it.
Yeah, that'd be smart, and just sight that in.
Shit.
Yeah, you got to do some thinking. I don't know about you, but if I get to be the 22 guy, I want to bring my little like Kui model 82 22 single shot 22.
I don't give a fuck.
Heavy barrel, accurate as all get out. It's been around since the 40s.
Yeah, but again, I don't care. Get food.
I can get food.
Trust me, I can get food. I'll bring about 1.5 pounds of spices.
That'll be back in the area where I know all the edible plants too. So depending on how far north you get.
Oh no, where I want to go is like pine trees and snow.
Yeah, you could eat pine trees, and there's other plants there too. Actually,
not gonna eat them. 2 weeks, not gonna do it.
You're not gonna eat pine trees?
Fuck no.
Oh man, I'm gonna be eating pine needles all the time, getting that vitamin C. I'm gonna be healthier than ever after that 2 weeks.
Yeah, so, you'll be getting that vitamin D, if you know what I mean.
Well, I mean, it is going to be, 5 guys in an isolated cabin for 2 weeks.
No, I mean, just throwing that out there. But
I'll sleep outside.
Yeah. Exactly. That'd be my idea of a good fucking bachelor party versus we're going to go out and get strippers. And it's like, yeah, I'm going to pay to have
lame, though. They all have corona.
Yeah, I'm pay to have my fucking dick get erect and, like, have nothing done about it.
Yep. Yeah.
Like, no way.
Have you heard, like, because they opened up, but, like, they have to stay socially distanced, so you get, like, a lap dance from, like, 6 feet away now? How terrible it is. It's like, why even open? They're all wearing masks, and you have to wear a mask. It's like, there's no point. There's no point in this. I paid $20 for nothing.
Well, Pornhub Premium is still free. Just throw
That's right. It is. You're free advertising there. Free advertising.
But
fuck yeah. But like, yeah, I just heard about that and I was like, that sounds terrible. A 6-foot lap dance, God.
Well, yeah.
No point.
I mean, could you imagine like living in that state where you're like, I think I'm finally. You're like fucking Milton on Office Space. You're like, I think I'm finally ready to go out to get a lap dance. Yeah, I'm gonna. And it's like 6 feet. Stay away. Gotta wear a mask.
Yep.
Like, well, and you grab a piece of steel that throws a piece of copper and lead at a really high space, and you go 6 feet away. Yeah, this is how I do it.
Yeah. Sounds
just try to pick my nose a little bit there, and I missed.
I saw. Yeah. I think everyone saw.
Yeah, I think everyone saw.
You just gotta have like a natural air filter so you don't get any dirt in your nose.
That's a cum filter, dude. So you don't get cum in your nose. You know that, right?
No. Not if you're upside down.
It's a cum stash.
Not if you're upside down.
Yeah, if you're upside down. Yeah.
What if you're right side up or sideways?
It's still a fucking cum shield.
Hey, it's a shield for a lot of things.
It's a fag stash. Just admit it. It's a fag stash.
It is like a 70s porn stash, yeah.
No, it's a fag stash. It'll help you hold your cigarette.
I don't smoke cigarettes.
No, whatever you smoke.
I have a pipe. You've seen it.
Do you smoke pipe?
Yep, I do. I smoke pipe.
Not exactly helping your case, bud.
I'm just saying. Yeah, well, it's because they're cheaper than smokes. You've seen how expensive cigarettes are. $11 a pack.
Syntax. Woo!
A pound of pipe tobacco is like $9.
It's still a lot of money.
Yeah, but it's a pound of tobacco.
By the way, next year I think I'm gonna actually grow my tobacco again, and you are gonna be like, I'll roll some cigars.
Yeah,
like that'd be like old world, and we'll smoke them, and you'll be like, holy shit.
Yeah, this is a shit. I've thought about it too, but like
dude,
they need a lot of soil and good quality soil.
No, they don't.
Depending on what you get.
Don't try to fucking tell me how to grow tobacco. How many times have you grown tobacco in your life?
Twice.
How many times actually worked?
Twice.
How many? Where did you grow it?
In 5-gallon buckets.
No, I grew it in the ground.
Yeah, but I grew it in 5-gallon buckets so I could tailor the soil to what would be optimum for the plant.
Cool. Mine went to 9 feet fucking tall, and they were fucking beautiful with leaves.
I didn't want mine that big, but.
Oh yeah. Well,
what species did you grow?
I grew a Kentucky burley.
Okay. Yeah, I couldn't do that back when I did it. So.
Right, that's what I grew. I grew Kentucky. Yeah, I grew Kentucky burley, like the big.
You didn't want to grow like Virginia longleaf or anything like that. That's like most.
Dude, the Kentucky burley gave you the best yield, and for cigars, it's bigger, so it's easier to roll.
Yeah, but most cigars are made out of like Virginia leaf tobacco. Okay, that's whatever. The species. It's called.
If you're gonna get snobby with me, do you know how to roll a fucking cigar, old style?
No, because I have a pipe.
Right. I'm talking before.
Shred the shit and put it in the pipe.
Before cigar presses became a thing, I know how to do
that. Okay. I don't. It'd be cool to see though.
Yeah, I'm just fucking with you.
I'm
not fucking with you, but it's really cool. It's like it's not at all hard, which is why I could do it. It's like but it's not even. Every cigar is gonna be different.
Yeah, but I was just wondering if you had like a specific species that you grew for. What you just grew Kentucky because you like the flavor of it, or because it's easy to grow, or
no, because I didn't know if they were gonna grow up here. It's very far north.
Yeah, it depends. That like each species grows in a different spot. Like the stuff that I grew was Canadian shortleaf, which really grows really well up in this environment. But that's a tobacco you normally use for like chewing. So that's why it. You see a lot of that in like Denmark, and they use it for Copenhagen and stuff like that. Historically, yeah. So and like
shit I grew was thin but tough, but it was like a blonde. I don't know, blonde tobacco. Once I dried it.
Well, like you get the Virginia longleaf, which is what a lot of smoking tobacco is made out of. It's usually mostly a Virginia blend of tobacco. So
right, and the thing is, like when I tried growing this tobacco up here, I had a bunch of people from Tennessee, and they were from Eastern Tennessee, and they're like, "Yeah, there's no fucking way it's gonna grow." And I'm like, "Oh, challenge accepted." So
no, you can get it to grow, but like, yeah.
But I also had to start it in February.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like, why I grew the Canadian stuff, because it has a relatively short growing season, but you don't get a good yield out of it, which is why it's a lot of chewing tobacco.
Right, and so this shit, I planted, I think, 40 plants, and I got 20 that grew really well, but the leaves were fucking massive, and then I dried them, and then they shrink.
Well, if they were that big, you should see like the Virginia longleaf crap. That stuff is like you could get leaves the size of your body.
Anyway, so cigars, I'll definitely make them next year.
Perfect. And you're just gonna plant those in your garden or alongside your house or something?
I'm gonna plant them in the yard. I'm gonna dig up a little spot because they do suck up a lot of nutrients.
They do. That was my whole reasoning behind using the 5-gallon bucket, because then you could add fertilizer whenever you want.
Well, they suck up a shitload of nitrogen and phosphorus and fucking whatever. But yeah, I grew it, I dried it. It's awesome. I smoked it as a cigar. Amazing. I gave a bunch to my friend who ground it up into cigarette tobacco, and he's like, "Yeah, this is really good."
Interesting. Yeah, I've never heard of Kentucky tobacco before. I'm only familiar with like 3 or 4 different breeds. So
Kentucky burley is tough. You can make chewing tobacco out of it. It's just not as thick as you'd like it to be. But
yeah, it's got to be that spongy stuff.
Yeah, it's spongy to an extent. It's weird.
So,
but
yeah, maybe I should give it another try then, because I was gonna do like all my tomatoes and stuff this year, because I got all my 5-gallon buckets. And
next year, let's do a fucking tobacco challenge. Let's grow it and keep updates with everyone, and so you can grow it better.
We could do that, and I got to do all my canning stuff. That's another thing that I was planning for this fall. I was gonna get all my canning shit.
Yep, I gotta buy some. I gotta buy a lot of shit.
Like I have a lot of the stuff. Like I have the jars and the lids and a bunch of the stuff.
But you need the fucking pot. You need the pressure canner. That's a big thing.
That's the part that I'm missing. So
pressure canner,
and then all the shit to put in the cans.
Yeah, well,
because I didn't grow any tomatoes or anything this year, so
yep.
Definitely got to do that. But it'd be something cool to do. But like going down to the farm, they have tons of stuff where they just do that all the time. So my stepdad's brother's wife, that's all she does because she's got like 8 kids.
Gardens,
so
yeah.
She can't do anything else because she's got to be able to watch all those kids. So, so she got really good at canning stuff, and she gave me some strawberry rhubarb jam, which was fantastic.
Oh yeah.
And then she
strawberry
made some
rhubarb. Oh yeah.
She made some relish that probably could have had a little more spice in it.
Yep, I get it. Some people give you stuff and you're like, you should do a little bit more research on how
this is like she did cucumbers and red peppers in it, but it tastes like cucumbers and red peppers. It doesn't taste like relish. Yeah, I know.
I know. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, experimenting is fine, but don't give it to fucking people. Like, if you're experimenting, like.
True. Well, I said I'd take one. I'd try it, and I'll find a way to eat it. That's literally what I told her. I'm like, I'll find a way to eat it. So.
It'll probably end up in the same place out of the can that it would be if you actually ate it in the toilet.
Pretty much.
So,
I'll find a way to eat it, though.
Definitely. I've fucking experienced that before. So it's 5:22.
Yep.
Good stream.
Very good stream. I agree.
So yeah, for those of you that are still around, which all 47 of you it looks like right now, we're gonna try to do some streaming more often. We'll actually get more in depth on topics and stuff like that. Tonight was kind of just an experiment and kind of a
stuff out.
icebreaker. And a lot of you guys are watching at this time, so I guess we might use this time Monday, Wednesday, Friday. If we don't stream, it's not because it's like fuck you guys. It's just because
stuff didn't line up. It'll probably be my schedule. I'm the one that works all the time.
Well, yeah, and sometimes shit won't work for me either when it does for you. But I'm just gonna try to get more interactive. So it's not Monday night shite. Because Friday night shite was funny because it was only one day, but might do Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We'll try for that. But
yeah.
Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. Like I know, actually the title wasn't clickbait because we actually discussed this. We
did talk about it at a few different points in the video. Yeah.
Yep. So they can watch it over again if they want to see that. So, okie dokie. Cool beans. All right. Later, everybody. Thanks for watching, and go watch the fucking video I uploaded if you haven't already.
I got to do that too.